Hello, I'm Frederick of Modding Masters, and today we are gonna announce our new gaming system for 2013. I'm not gonna ramble on a lot of times, so we're gonna go into it directly. We are gonna use the Phoenix Prodigy as our case. It is a very small gaming factor. Sorry for the noise. It is a very small gaming factor. It is a mini ITX case. It is small, but it is perfect for our gaming system. You can put in water cooling, but we're not going with water cooling. It has two USB 3.0s. It has one audio jack. It has one microphone jack. Moving on to the case cooling, because we're not going with water cooling, we are going to go with two Noctuas and F12s. The Noctuas are very silent. They are about 120 millimeters each. They cost around €20 depending on where you are. But they are very low noise cooling. What does this mean? It is very silent. You're not gonna hear those fans running in your computer at all, or at a bare minimum. They run at 300 RPM to 1500 RPM, so it's gonna be very silent. At the corners, they have a rubber aid, which will reduce the vibrations of the fan while spinning. This is also purely for the noise reduction in your case. For our motherboard is that we are putting in an Asus P877i Deluxe Edition. This is priced at €160. It's not that much of a price, but it's an Intel 1155 socket. Why are we not going with a 2011 socket? It is way too pricey for a gaming rig. You don't need a 2011 socket to game at this point. It's next to useless. It's not next to useless, but it's very, very high in price. It is a Flex ATX motherboard, so it's a very small motherboard as well. But it has a capacity of 16 gigabytes of RAM, which goes up to 2400 megahertz. That is a lot for this motherboard. It has one PCI slot, but you can fit a 77 GTX of Nvidia in it. So that is a very high-end card. It's not gonna bottleneck or something. No, you're gonna run it just fine. Also, it has two SATA 600 ports for your storage, two SATA 300 slots if you want to expand, and two eSATA 300s. So that's six SATA ports. Well, 4 and 2.5. Also, for this very slots of a very small motherboard, you have 8 USB entrances in the back. You have four USB 3.0s, and you have four USB 2.0s. So for this small motherboard, 8 USB port is just bonkers. Also, it has a Wi-Fi antenna, which comes delivered with two antennas that you can just connect to your motherboard and have Wi-Fi. It also has an 8.0 audio system, an Ether port, all the good stuff. Also, we're going for a gaming system, and we're not going to put an i5 in it. No, we're going to put an i7 in it. To be more specific, we're going to put in a 3770K. This processor, you can't get any better. It is purely for gaming. It's a beast. It's just a monster. It is a K series, so it's an unlocked CPU. You can overclock this puppy to 4.5 gigs. People, 4.5 gigs. It's gonna generate quite some heat, so we're gonna need a good CPU cooling. The CPU cooling that we are going to go with is Noctua NH-U9B. It is a very, very big heatsink. It's just insane how big this thing is. It has two Noctua fans cooling the block at all times, so your computer and your processor is gonna cool. It's gonna run smoothly, it's gonna run cold, it's gonna be non-noisy. It's really nice. For our RAM, we are going with the Kingston HyperX Blue Black Series. It is a set of 16 gigs. Yes, the maximum amount that our motherboard can handle, but it is DDR3. It is at a frequency of 1600 MHz, and this comes in at a price of €147. For the GPU, I've said you can fit in 7070 on it, but we are gonna go with a 7080. This palette GeForce is a 3 gig DDR5. It is at a core clock speed of 863. The boost clock is 902. The memory interface there, it gets exciting. It is a 384-bit memory interface. It's the same memory interface as the GTX Titan, which will give you a huge performance boost. It's just amazing what you can do with just the memory interface. It's gonna run the game so much more smoother. It's gonna get you a lot more frames. It even at a resolution of 2560 by 1600, you are gonna run games smoothly. It's just phenomenal. Moving on to the memory. Yes, what's a computer without memory? We are putting a Samsung 840 series, a 120 gig SSD. This is normally for your games that you want to put in very quickly. Your booting, your compatibility with Windows 7 or Windows 8. We really want to go with a 64-bit system because this is just the system for it. 120 gigs is not a lot of memory to put in one computer only, so we are putting a Seagate Barracuda ST3000. This is a 3 terabytes HDD with a buffer of 63 megabytes. It spins at 7200 TPM, and the price is, for 3 terabytes, it's really nice. It is only my bad there. It's 2 terabyte storage. My bad. Someone did not do the PowerPoint correctly. It is a 2 terabyte memory spinning at 7200 TPM. It is still with a buffer of 63 megabytes, and it comes at a price of almost €80. So sorry for the mistake there. Yeah. For our power supply, we are gonna go with a Seasonic G650. This is an 80 plus gold power supply. It is also semi-modular, and it is gonna run on your system very nice. It is a semi-modular power supply. This means all the normal necessary cables is on there. Your 24 pin for your motherboard, your 6 pin, your 8 pin. It is the power source that you need for this computer. It is 80 plus gold. It's gonna run it is gonna run very efficiently. It's just a very nice power supply to have. There you have it, boys and girls. This is our gaming system for 2013. It is gonna cost you around €1600, but it is a very high-end gaming system. We've put it in a mini ITX case, but it is gonna fit perfectly. Do please subscribe and like and share all this stuff. We are gonna be back with more builds, more tech tips, and this is Frederick of Modding Masters going out.